Hey everybody, it is the middle of May and the yard is in full swing. We're a long way away from it being in full bloom, but we are really up and rolling. So I want to do a yard tour, give everybody a sort of basic look at what the yard looks like now, and in a week or two we'll come back and we'll see it again when all the flowers are starting to go. You can see we've already missed some of the flowers. All the early bulbs are done, the azaleas are done. That white azalea there is one of the most stunning azaleas we have in the yard, but it's way done at this point. I think our feature plant this year is going to be foxglove. We have so much foxglove. It just reseeds itself naturally, and if you look around you'll see these little spiky plants here. These are foxglove. These are smaller ones. You can see over here we've got larger ones, but just keep your eye open for these tall plants with these sort of creamy color flowers that are just now starting to open. You can see a bunch of them right here. You can see them all through here. But we've got iris, columbine. We got some more stuff in here that I'm even going to be able to name as we go around. Tons and tons of lilies, hostas, daylilies, and of course you can see all the fern and shrubberies and all the other random stuff we've got going on. I don't know what that bird is fussing about, but it sure is making a ruckus. The rhododendron up there looks amazing. We'll be walking past that as we go up around on the top side and walk around. But you can see we got nice, good, lush green growth coming in everywhere. All the hostas and fern, daylilies and everything are coming up. You can see much more of the foxglove as we get over to this side. What our goal eventually is to not have to mow any of this hill. It doesn't really come out on video that well, but this is a pretty steep hill, and I used to have to mow the whole thing, but slowly but surely over the years we're just sort of bringing the garden down, and eventually this whole entire hillside is just going to be, you know, garden like this. Nothing too specific, nothing difficult to maintain, just lots of hostas and natural plants, natural flowers like the foxglove, woodland flowers I guess is the word I'm looking for. You'll see lots of that around. We planted a bunch of hydrangeas last year, so we should start seeing some results from the new hydrangeas being put in the ground. Foxglove is everywhere. Got the peonies are looking good this year. All of these daylilies will be going soon, and we've got a big variety of daylilies in here. These purple plants that you're going to see around are money plants. They're called money plants because the seed pods, I guess, look like coins. But these are another native around here. I think they're native around here, but they grow prolifically. They reseed themselves everywhere, so we got a ton of those around the place as well. A little special point of note is the clematis down there is blooming. Got several different clematis along the fence this year that the missus put in, and they are looking amazing. This is sort of an old-fashioned clematis. That's going to have a ton of blooms on it, but it's not there yet. Let's see, got a lot of stuff going on in the driveway, but most of it is just going to be hostas and fern and stuff like that down along the sides. No need to really go down there looking at everything. These are two new hydrangeas we put in a couple years ago, and they should be doing pretty well this year. This is the year they really should be established and taking off. Here's a little better look at those clematis over here. Absolutely gorgeous, loving it. So if we come over here, you will see more clematis. This purple one is really pretty. We've got these other vines. I'm not sure what these are. These got put in a year or two ago, and they're going to open up soon. Now this side of the yard is another side that I decided last year I'm done with the mowing. Most of what grows over here is moss, not grass, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt, and so we're just going to sort of let it do its thing. All of that over there is foxglove. We have been plugging hostas. The foxgloves seed themselves. We've got the nice deep red ones over here. We've got pink ones over here. Of course, we got those creamy white ones. Our little flag lilies are starting to bloom. Of course, we've got the iris, and again, hosta will be sending their flower spikes up here pretty soon. And so all this side of the yard we're just letting turn into garden as well, so it's less stuff we have to deal with. Well, it's less stuff I have to deal with as far as mowing anyway. There's our other gorgeous white azalea that's completely past and looking like that at this point, unfortunately. So this is our bamboo forest. Some of it goes all the way. I planted a lot of bamboo 25 years ago when we first moved out here, and now it's growing everywhere. So I'll show you more when we get to different parts of the yard, but this is how big the new shoots are when they come up. It's pretty good size bamboo. And you can see I got a lot of it back there. So don't plant bamboo unless you're really serious about it and really want bamboo. All right, making our way across the top side. And again, if you'll just keep noticing all the way along the side, this fence is all the way down to the far end of the yard, which we'll get to eventually, is bamboo. I have so much of that everywhere now. So this is just the top side looking down on everything. It's all the same hostas and whatnot. Here's that rhododendron. This looks so good this year. It's probably one of the best looking years we've seen it. We've had some rough winters where it's gotten frostbite and been hit by falling branches, and there's been droughts. This year it just looks amazing. Everything went right. Got some iris blooming. Tons of phlox down through here. We got a lot of phlox that will be blooming at some point. This was a really beautiful red, crimson and red azalea, but that's done too. I did not plant any of these hostas back here. This all just sort of got there by itself. We sort of treat it like a nursery. If we ever want any hostas dug up from anywhere, we just come up here and we got plenty to choose from. That's just sort of growing back into the bushes. And of course we've got, you know, lots of bamboo and stuff going on up there. Yes, that is a bowling ball. If you keep your eyes out, you'll notice there's quite a few bowling balls around the yard. I've never been bowling in my life, and as far as I know, my wife might have been at some point, but we got the idea, or she got the idea, that bowling balls would make neat yard art in the garden. So, I don't know, years and years ago, not long after we moved out here, I called a bowling alley and asked them if they could just hang on to their old balls. And when they had a bunch, you know, give me a call. And they did. Like 6 months later, I'd forgotten about it. I got a call from the bowling alley, and they said, why don't you come pick up those balls you asked for? And there was like boxes of them. I got like 15 old bowling balls. And if you look down here, you'll notice you can see one sitting up on top. That used to be a really beautiful purple and black swirly looking ball, but you can barely tell what it looks like anymore. That one still has some color on it, but there's a bunch of them around the yard. If you keep your eyes open, you notice those little globe orby looking things. That's actually bowling balls. And again, not because either of us have a particular affinity for bowling or anything. Again, this is just sort of the top back part of the yard, and this is new bamboo coming in. This is a slightly larger, but we need to break all that down, all these new shoots. But eventually you can see all these shoots down here. I ran over these with the lawn tractor because they just come up all through the yard. We got one coming up right here. That's a bamboo shoot that's, you know, a runner from all the way up here. So we have to battle the bamboo constantly. Excuse me. And you can see over on this side of the yard how it just grows way down, grows all the way down here, grows all the way over towards my neighbor's side of the house. So this garden is looking fantastic this year, or this side of the yard I should say. It's more than one garden. It's a series of beds all put together. This is my wife's labor of love. She's been working on this. I mean, I've done some stuff over here, but most of it is her. and it just keeps getting bigger, and we keep expanding it, and we're getting more and more paths, and eventually it's making its way down into the bottom end of the yard. You can see this is all new stuff. It's starting to expand outwards, and there's so much stuff in here. It would be hard to go over all of it. We've got goat's beard, a stilby, which is goat's beard is falsa stilby, the heuchera or coral bells, all these. Of course, we got all kinds of different varieties of hosta. I couldn't even name all the different hostas we have in here. And daylilies and Solomon seal. And it goes back all over here. We've got stuff. That's an oak leaf hydrangea down there. Everything in this bed. So much stuff. Some of these hostas are getting huge. They're really going to need to be dealt with here at some point. Oh goody, the neighbor's dogs are out. So we have a lot of micro hostas over here. These are micro hostas. These I wouldn't call micro hostas, but I guess technically they are. That's as big as they get. We've got a bunch over here. Oh, that azalea is actually still in bloom and looking good. And if we come over to this little bed here, I like this hosta. That's called a Wheeee, W-H-E-E-E-E-E. I don't know how many E's there are, but it's W-H-E-E-E or whatever. It's Wheeee. Wheeee! These are all micro hostas. This whole bed over here is micro hostas. And then we got all these. And so this is a new path. This is working its way down here and around on the back side. Got a bunch of bamboo down here because I planted this stuff everywhere years ago, 25 years ago. This autumn fern here with all that nice color in it. That's beautiful. That's what that's supposed to look like. Nice red. That's why it's autumn fern. Alright, we are going to wind it up. This is kind of the bottom end of the beds where, again, the missus is sort of working on it. We're getting a little trail that's coming down here and wrapping around, and we're going to kind of start working on this area and clearing out this last little bit of stuff. Over here I've got a little sort of greenway that goes down over to the fence. We've got leaf mold down there. We got the mulch pile over here. Apparently we're growing some stuff in the mulch pile. And so I think the garden beds are going to sort of end in this area eventually, but at the rate we're going, they're actually starting to move their way out into the yard too, so we'll see how that works out. And over here's the potting bench, all kinds of stuff on deck ready to go. Got some soil there. All my wife's planters. She does a lot of planters every summer, and so you can see she's got those all stacked up and ready to go. And we have already begun with the seeds. This is a temporary little tent we put up every spring, and we can get started early on stuff. This tent lives here permanently, and we can also get started early on stuff. So all this stuff's eventually going to be making its way into the gardens and into planters. All this stuff on top of the generator. If I ever need to use the generator, I got to move all that crap out of the way to get to it. But we do have all that stuff getting ready to go too, which brings us back to where we got started. And I'm gonna say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you're subscribed, and we will be doing these updates as the yard starts to bloom and everything begins to open up. And again, the amount of foxglove we have this year alone will be worth tuning back in. But we've also got all these lilies, we've got all the daylilies, we've got all the hostas. By mid-June, this yard is just explosion of color and flowers. So make sure you subscribe and tune in for the next installment of my yard tour. Thanks everybody, I'll see you in the next one.